All right, thanks for joining us. I know all you ski bums are itching to get back out there on the mountain. I am too, and I've got some good news for you. Vail Resorts, among others, have listed some projected opening days for when they believe the mountains will be rideable. Beaver Creek is expected to open around Thanksgiving, while Vail is hoping to be open by the 10th of next month. Breckenridge expected to be open around the same time as Vail, and Crested Butte we should be seeing open come the end of next month. Keystone, as always, looking to welcome everyone as soon as possible, and hopefully could be opening their doors as early as this month. So we have ASAP written there, just in case. Double-checked Copper's website a day ago or so, and they're thinking they'll be up and running by November 13th. So we're just around the corner from a brand new season. For the second time this season, longtime rivals Eagle Valley and Battle Mountain High met on the soccer field, this time in Edwards. And Battle Mountain was looking for the sweep of Eagle Valley in the regular season. The Huskies hosted the Devils in Edwards and were looking for their 11th win of the season. This story is going to start and end with this man right here, Jakob Methvin of the Huskies. He'll put the egg in the corner of the nest to send the Huskies up 1-0 on the rival school. Then moving over to the second half, a penalty kick will set the Huskies up in scoring position. Danny Sanchez taps it to Methvin, who rips it to the right side of the net for the goal. Battle Mountain goes up 2-0, and under a minute to go, the man with the magic slides another one past the keeper for the explanation point. Tarp comes off, and he heads to the student section to celebrate. A 3-goal night for Jakob Methvin. Battle Mountain knocks off Eagle Valley for the regular season sweep, 3-1, and we had to catch up with Methvin after the game. Battle Mountain just picked up their 11th win of the season, knocking off the rival school, Eagle Valley, 3-1. Joining me right now, Jakob Methvin. 3 goals on the game today. Jakob, how did it feel to get this win today?
It felt amazing. It was a good game, and we were working hard the whole time, and it was nice to finish that last goal and have the hat trick and win the game.
Okay, and then coming out of the locker room, at the half, you put up one on that PK. They kind of crawl back in with that other goal. How did you guys just stay focused and ultimately just pull off the win today?
I think we had a good speech at halftime from Cope and Cam, and we just continued to work and push our hardest, and we got it.
Okay, and 2-0 against the Devils this regular season. What does that mean to you and this program to go 2-0 in the regular season against the rival school?
It obviously feels nice to win against the rival school, but I think we need to work toward the playoffs now.
Okay, just kind of that playoff mindset from here on out. We got to talk about that third goal. Tarp comes off, both hands go up in the air. Was that pre-planned, or did that just kind of pop into your head as soon as you scored?
We had talked about it for a couple games if I ever got the opportunity to, and I think today was the perfect opportunity to take it off and show the fans.
That was awesome, man. You had me all riled up there from that celebration too. But last thing I want to hit on, you guys still got couple games left in the regular season. What's kind of the focus from here on out?
I think work hard at practice and continue to develop and be stronger for playoffs and come win the chip this year.
All right. Anything you want to add?
No, I think that'll be it. Thank you.
All right. Great game.
Thank you.
We'll take a look now at some other scores from around the valley. Vail Mountain School ended their game with Coleridge in a draw, and on Tuesday evening, Glenwood Springs made the trip over to Grand Junction, where they beat Grand Junction High 3-1. After a big win last week over Plateau Valley, Vail Christian football now sits at 3-2 on the season. I went over to Edwards to talk with both coordinators to see what's working on both sides of the ball and what this team needs to do in order to pick up a win against Hayden on the road Friday. Vail Christian School gearing up for a big game this Friday night. Joining me right now, the offensive mind of the Saints, Bob Engleby. Bob, how are you feeling going into this matchup Friday?
Well, Hayden's always really tough. They got a great program. We've had close games with them last, 5-7 years. So it'll be a hard-fought game.
Okay, and going back to last week, you guys won big over Plateau Valley. Did that kind of give your team the spark they needed after dropping that one a week prior to Front Range Christian?
Well, it was good to play a clean football game from our side. That's probably our first complete game of the year where we didn't make a ton of mistakes and we just played really well. So good to get that loss out of our mouth and play a clean game.
Okay, and 5 games into the season, it's about that point where you realize, what this team is truly made of. What have you seen so far in these 5 to 6 weeks that you've really liked from your offense?
We're balanced. We can run and pass. We're starting to really figure out who the playmakers are. Some of the young guys are growing up. And probably most important, our offensive line is starting to play really well. We got a really good, deep group of offensive linemen, and they're the guys who make all the difference. And they're starting to play well and gel together. So that's what I'm most excited about, the O-line.
Okay, in another game week, what are you guys focused on in practice this week?
The same thing as almost every week, which is play our football, do the things right, do the little things, take care of ourselves, and see what happens.
Love that answer. And you guys got Hayden coming up on Friday. It's Thursday now, not too far away from game day. But what do you guys need to focus on entering that matchup on the road to walk out of there with a W on the schedule?
We need to focus on what we do best, which is run the football, and then run the football more, and then surprise them with passes.
And if you don't mind me asking, when's the best time to surprise a team with a pass in 8-man football?
Maybe the first play of the game, so we'll do that. No, it's I don't know if there's a best time. I try to get a feel for it when they're creeping up and trying to stop the run, and that's when we throw it.
Okay. And how have you liked your run game so far this year? You guys have been able to put up some heavy yardage in these 5 to 6 weeks, but what do you think really stands about your run game that may be a little different from the opponents you guys match up with?
We're balanced. We have a lot of different guys who can run it. We've got 6 or 7 guys who are all good, and then we've got a few guys who are maybe special, but we're waiting to see if they'll keep doing that. But we're balanced and deeper than we've ever been.
Okay, and kind of back to week 1, I came here and found out that Battle Mountain, 5 of their kids had joined your program. What have you liked from those kids? How have they kind of helped build your team up this season?
It's just, they're a bunch of great kids. They blend right in. They're very hardworking, very respectful, very diligent, tough kids who I don't view them as Battle Mountain kids anymore. I just view them as Vail Christian kids. So they're just really great kids. That's my favorite part about them. They're fine young men.
Awesome. Anything you want to add, Bob?
No.
Awesome. Well, Vail Christian, they got a matchup away at Hayden coming up this Friday at 7 p.m. Maybe go out, show your support for the Saints. We got another interview from the defensive mind of the Saints coming up next. All right, we're back with more coaches' interviews. We got the defensive mind of the Saints, Dan Misnick. So, Coach, what have you liked from your defense this season? You're 5 games in. What's really stood out?
Gotcha. We've graduated quite a few guys over the last few years, and it's fun to see new pieces coming in and seeing how they put together to see how we can put a team together. And I've been really impressed with the physicality of these kids. They come in, they play hard football, and we really take pride in trying to stop the run, and we've been able to do that a few times this year.
Okay, and going back to last week, Plateau Valley, you held them to, I believe, 6 points, 3 points, something along the lines of that. What did you like from your defense beside them just, not giving up points on the board?
Mm-hmm. Again, we focus on the front line. I mean, the D-line played really well. We're getting good penetration, and our linebacker was really filling. We got some younger guys in there later in the game and saw some really positive things out of them as well. Reading the guards, filling the holes that they needed to, and we focused a ton on tackling last week. We wanted to get better at those fundamentals, and I saw a lot of that on the field.
And you guys have so much depth at linebacker this season. You got Jack Pryor and a couple of other guys. Jack, he's such a huge part of this team. He's been here forever. He's a guy that everyone looks up to. What has all that depth at linebacker really opened up for y'all this season?
Man, it's allowed us to put some speed at some other positions, and when you can run a defense and your linebacker and you can trust him to make the tackle, plug the middle of the field, it really opens you up and allows you to get some pressure off the edge.
Okay, and we were just talking with Bob, there's not a lot of passing in 8-man football, let alone high school football. How would you assess your team's ability to stop the run these 5 games in?
Yeah, Man, Lions came out and punched us in the mouth, and it was a really good wake-up call that we've got to play better football. And since then, we focused on those fundamentals. We've worked really hard at tackling in practice, developed some really fun new drills to develop those basic skills that you need to win at any level of football. And you can watch the film and you can see us getting better every game, and that's just the goal as we work towards potentially making a playoff run.
Okay, and Front Range Christian, that was a tough loss on y'all. But, from those losses, you tend to learn more than you do from the wins, I think, because it really makes you humbled and kind of think about the game a little bit more in a different way. What did you guys really take away from that game that you implemented in that game with Plateau Valley the following week? So you pulled off, such a great game on both sides of the ball.
Right. I mean, what we took is kind of, as Bob said, is we need to get better at what we do. Going in, the game plans were similar for both games, but we really focused on the little things, doing your job, whether you're an offensive lineman, whether you're a cornerback, making sure you understand your responsibility and doing your responsibility versus trying to make all the plays yourself. We made a lot of silly mistakes against Front Range, and they capitalized on that. We were able to come and put together a complete game against Plateau Valley, and thankfully come out with a win.
I talk with a lot of head coaches, and they tell me that winning the turnover margin is probably the most crucial part of the game. Would you kind of say it's the same thing with 8-man football?
It's certainly a huge part of the equation. I think that and winning the line of scrimmage. If you can do those two things, protect the ball when you've got it, and then can try to control the line of scrimmage. I mean, those two things are going to predict the winner in just about every football game.
Okay, and let's talk about your defensive line a little bit. How have they been able to explode off the line and get to the quarterback?
Yeah, we've got some seniors that are at those D-end positions, and they've been getting good pressure in there. Will Newman and Christian, who's coming over from Vail Mountain School, actually. And then we try to rotate our D tackles, try to spread the love a little bit. Most teams have the same guys going both ways, offensive line, defensive lines. We try to rotate them out, keep them fresh, and that senior leadership has allowed us to do that.
Okay, and with so many different schools represented on this team, you got Vail Christian, the majority, you got Vail Mountain School, and you got Battle Mountain. How are these kids all gelling together? Are they working well together?
They're working really well together. As Bob said, it doesn't feel like we have three different schools coming together. It really feels like one cohesive unit, especially as we work towards, as we've gotten better throughout the year. They're all great kids. Every single one of them out here is good character, hardworking, and since that loss at Front Range, we've really been focused on doing the little things, and it's shown.
Okay, and we got a new week in front of us. Tomorrow, you guys got a matchup with Hayden. They're 2-3 on the season. What do you guys need to do to win this week? Go 1-0.
Like you said, go 1-0. Well, we're focused on going to Hayden. Hayden always puts up a good fight. They come in with a good game plan. They've got some stuff on offense. They're moving the ball. They spread it out, and have lots of motions. And so we've got to be assignment disciplined, especially defensively, and come out again, do our job. Make sure you know your responsibility and do it at full speed.
Gotcha. Anything you want to add, Coach?
No. Go Saints.
Like we talked about, Vail Christian will have a matchup with 2-3 Hayden Friday night on the road at 7 p.m. In the Valley, though, Eagle Valley will be looking for their second win of the season when they play Palisade. Palisade sitting at 1-5 and Eagle Valley 1-4. That kickoff will come at 7 p.m. Glenwood Springs will also host a 7 p.m. game at home against 4-1 Durango. Now shifting gears and looking at some of the volleyball scores from this week. Battle Mountain fell to Palisade Thursday night 3-0, and Vail Mountain School knocked off Hayden at home 3-1. Back-to-back strong Pac-12 opponents for CU football. They took on Heisman winner Caleb Williams and the USC Trojans, who were 8th ranked in the country right after taking on Oregon. It was a great matchup. Down 21-0 in the second quarter, Shadur Sanders locks onto Jimmy Horn, lets it fly, and they'll connect in the end zone for 30 yards to get the Buffs on the board. After the touchdown, Caleb Williams and the Trojans looking to answer on this drive, but he won't see Omarion Cooper, who delivers the smoke to give USC a 3rd and long, which would eventually force a punt. Nevertheless, the Trojans will continue to roll, down 34-7, with the game starting to spiral out of control for the Buffs. Sanders will take off for the end zone, traveling 25 yards to the crib to give his team a spark before the half. Moving over to the second half, now down 41-14, Sanders connects with the freshman Amarion Miller, who turns on the Jets and goes 75 yards to the USC 10-yard line. A penalty will set the Buffs up at the 2-yard line, and on second down, Anthony Hankerson will punch it in. Buffs down 21-41 and begin creeping back into the game. Now down 34-48. Sanders threads this one through a tight window to Jimmy Horn Jr. for the 16-yard touchdown, and the Buffs will bring it within 7. They try the onside kick, but don't get it, and the Trojans escape Boulder unscathed. The second half fight from the Buffs showed resilience, but does the team believe in moral victories?
Say it again?
Do you believe in moral victories? Do you think this was a moral victory?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Then let's move on from there.
Coach Prime was later asked the same question, where sure enough, he answered saying he doesn't believe in moral victories either.
The team I imagine would play 4 solid quarters and be really physical and really tough and definitive and just make our mark and leave an impression on not only the opposing team but the coaching staff as well as our fan base. That's what we want to do.
Prime not too happy with the outcome, but still proud of his team, he would later go on to say. After that hard-fought battle in the second half with number 8 Southern California, the Trojans will actually drop back a spot. They were a 22-point favorite in this game, but didn't fulfill the order. The Buffs still receiving 1 vote to get back in the top 25, and they'll have a matchup with Arizona State this weekend, who hasn't won a game since week 1. The Buffs, I would say, have a pretty good chance in Phoenix with this matchup. Air Force also listed, receiving 7 votes to break the top 25. They've been lingering there and are sitting at 5-0 on the year with 3 conference wins. They'll rest up this week as they're on a bye. CU, on the other hand, will have to shift gears after that loss to USC last weekend to take on Arizona State, and if the Buffs have their game face on like they did in the second half against USC this past weekend, I expect more than a moral victory, which we all know isn't good enough for the Buffs and Coach Prime. That game will come at 4:30 on Saturday. The counterpart of the Rocky Mountain Showdown, the CSU Rams, will take on a conference opponent of their own in Utah as they travel to Logan for a matchup with Utah State. That one is slated for 6 p.m. on Saturday. Not much of a mix-up from last week's poll here in our AFCA coaches poll for Week 6. Colorado School of Mines is still sitting at that number 2 spot and will face Mesa this weekend in Grand Junction. And moving up 2 spots from last week with a colossal win over Mesa is Western Colorado. They'll travel to Rapid City, South Dakota to take on School of Mines. Kickoffs for those games will both come Saturday, and Mines will take on Mesa at 1:05 p.m. in Grand Junction, while Western Colorado takes on South Dakota Mines at noon. Now, nothing has come easy for the Denver Broncos this year. There was a lot of hope surrounding the team entering a new season, but after they started off 3-0, that hope just quickly diminished and dissolved. But what would happen, say, if the 0-3 Broncos matched up with another 0-3 team in the league? Well, we found out Sunday when the Broncos traveled to Chicago to take on the Bears. Just a quick little recap here. Broncos score first on a touchdown catch from Jaleel McLaughlin, but the Bears from there would open up an offensive clinic in the second quarter as they put up 21 straight. Nevertheless, down 14 in the fourth quarter, the Broncos would find a way to come back and win as they put up 17 to seal the deal in Chicago. They improved to 1-3 on the season, giving Sean Payton his first win as head coach of the team. So it's been almost 4 months since the Denver Nuggets won their first NBA Finals championship as an organization. The win coming at Ball Arena in Denver had to make it all the more sweet, but now they turn their attention to a new season and what's to come in the future after a championship. Nuggets Vice President Josh Kroenke made it clear one championship isn't good enough at Nuggets Media Day on Monday.
To be sitting up here for the first time in our franchise's history as defending champions is a real honor. The cool part about our summer was, on the back of that accomplishment was sitting back down with Calvin, Coach Malone, and the rest of the group to try to plan out for the next few years to try to figure out another way to win again, and win multiple. So that's a new challenge we're embracing. It was a fun summer, it was a fast summer, but to be sitting up here as defending champions for the first time is just a tremendous honor.
But what's a media day without your two-star players? Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray took the podium Monday, and they know what this season will be like before they take the court in their first game.
We got a target on our back. A lot of teams are going to do everything they can, grab everybody in the organization, everybody in the league on one team to try to beat us. So we just got to keep focused and stay the course.
The Nuggets season starts October 24th at home, where they'll take on the Los Angeles Lakers and have their banner ceremony from last year's accomplishments. Kind of funny, the Nuggets will be dropping their banner in front of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the rest of the Los Angeles Lakers, who they swept in the Western Conference Finals this past season to cruise on into the championship. Maybe this will make LeBron and AD hungry, but we'll find out come the end of the month. Make sure to come back to us for all the latest sports coverage around the Valley and beyond. We'll see you next time